Hey guys, so I wanted to make a video about how to make pork belly, but I thought about making this video after I actually made the pork belly. So I figured because you guys probably don't want to see me doing a cooking video anyway, I'm going to describe what I did. So first of all, I got some pork belly. I got the fattiest pork belly I could find, and what I did this time was, let me find this previous picture. So, oh my goodness, I really do write a lot of stuff, don't I? Where is I? Okay, so when I did this one, I did not stab the skin. So let me go back. Okay. So what you want to do is when you buy pork belly, I've heard that the best one to buy is pasture raised, like heritage bred pork because they have less omega-3s. It's supposed to be healthier for you if you get pasture raised stuff. The price difference is about double the price. So if you get the regular one at the grocery store, I think it's about $4.99 a pound. If you get the pasture raised stuff, it's about $9.99 a pound. I wouldn't mind buying the pasture raised stuff. It's just that it is so inconvenient for me to get it. So for instance, if I want to buy pasture raised pork, I cannot go to just like Whole Foods to get it. They only have like regular pork. I have to go to like a specialty place and then take the subway over there, pick it up, and then yeah, so take a subway just to pick up the pork and then come back over home. And I don't know about you guys, but just to make a trip just for pork belly, I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. I wish they did delivery, but they don't, not that one store. So what I do is that I take the pork out, I put salt and pepper on each side, and then the pork belly skin itself, I stab it repeatedly with the fork. So I would stab it at least 40 times each, 40, 70 times, just stab it for like 1 or 2 minutes, just with all these little holes. Our forks are kind of dull, so it's not like I'm piercing right through it, but it's kind of like massaging it or like tenderizing it. And what that does is that it makes the pork skin crispy. So I do salt and pepper on both sides. I cut it in about 1-inch strips, and then I put in the air fryer at 360 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes on each side. So I would suggest, like, if it's a really thin piece, like if you have high amount of fat, maybe go with 8 minutes on each side. But if it has like more meat than fat, then maybe think about doing 10 minutes on each side. And for this one, I didn't stab the meat, so the pork skin was more hard than crispy. And then when you look at, my bad, you guys, when you look at what I did, you can see that it started looking a little bit more crispier over here. You can see the little bubbles. And then this one was today's. It looked even better. And then this was... Hold on, did I not post that picture? I swear I posted that picture. Okay, and here is the one that I have today. So this is a really high fat piece. If you look at the piece on the left, you can see it's basically all fat and with like a little bit of meat. So there were pieces, this particular piece was basically a strip of just pork skin and fat. And I gotta say, you guys, it is really crunchy. I know you guys are not here, and I feel kind of, yeah, doesn't the air fryer get fatty? It does get fatty, so the oil does drip on the bottom. But here, let me show you guys. So this is the one that we have. Let me see, Philips. I don't have to tell you the exact one. They don't make it anymore anyway, but we have a Philips air fryer. And the way it works is it has a little basket. Yeah, see this? So if you look over here, you got this little basket over here. This is where you put your pork belly, right? So I'll put this in 360 degrees, 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes, depending on, usually I'll do 10 minutes each side, okay? So mine comes with, like, it already keeps the settings from the previous time I used it, so I just basically press, because ours has a timer. You see, like this one over here? We don't have the exact same model, but you can see there's a temperature and then there's a timer over there. So all I have to do is just turn it on, press the temperature, and then press the timer, and then I just press power or something like that. I can't explain it to you guys, but it's really quick. It only takes me about 5 to 10 seconds to start up, and then it just instantly air fries, and it really is amazing. So all the drippings from the fat that we have, Let me show you guys this. All the dripping goes on the bottom, so you see over here. So I'll put the pork belly over here, 8 to 10 minutes at 360. After it's done, you know, it makes a little beeping sound, right? I take it out, and then I flip it to the other side, do another 8 to 10 minutes, and then afterwards I let it cool, and then I can eat it, and it's crispy. So I don't use any oils for it. The oil does go down. You see this little starfish looking contraption? The oil drains down over here. Normally what I do is I pour out the oil, and then I use that for cooking. Because I do believe in having full fat. I prefer cooking with animal fat rather than vegetable oils. So yeah, I prefer using that. And then if I want to clean it, you know, you just put it inside I just wipe it off, and then I put it inside of the dishwasher. And it cleans it quite well. So yeah, I would recommend that if you do have an air fryer, don't just dump it in like immediately. Try to wipe as much oil and gunk as you can from the air fryer. And then if you do use an air fryer, keep in mind, I think the smoking point for pork belly is about 300. I think I heard it was like 380 degrees or so. So when you are cooking this stuff, you will see white smoke coming out. Kind of like when you grill steak, you know how you have like that smoky stuff? So it could make the apartment, if you have all the windows closed, a little smoky. So the only window we have open is the freaking bathroom window because everything else has insulation on it. But yeah, I really like using an air fryer, and it is absolutely amazing. So yeah, the cleaning is super easy. You just wipe it down with a paper towel, like a dry paper towel. I try to get as much grease off of it as I can, so it goes in pretty clean. You guys know, like if you're putting something in the dishwasher, right, you want to scrape the food out. That's the same thing I do with an air fryer. I just, you know, I use maybe a couple paper towels, wipe it out, you know, pour out the oil. Like I said, I reuse the oil, so I put it into a jar. And then, yeah, and then I wipe out all like the gunk out from the air fryer, and then I put that into the dishwasher to clean. And it's really quick. It's really convenient. I love it a lot. I do recommend, you know, keeping on top of it, because if you do not regularly clean it, it can get sticky or can get kind of gross. So, I say that as a person, you know, who, if you guys remember my stream, I repaired this thing, right? So I got mine's pre-owned. Really amazing thing. It works perfectly. Super happy that I have it, so I can make things like French fries in here. I can make things like pork belly in here. I heard some people bake cookies in here. It's frying without the oil, air frying. But you can also achieve the same results in a convection oven as well. So we don't have a convection oven, so that's why I'm using an air fryer. But yeah, really, really handy thing. I would also recommend, I don't know if it's just because ours is maybe a little wonky, when I lift it up, you see how it might be tempting to grab it from the handle? I don't know if it's just this model, because I got it pre-owned, but when I lift it up from the handle over here, if sometimes you see the bottom part that detaches, that starfish pan part, it actually could drop. So when I pull this thing out of here, I actually pull not by the handle, but I pull it by the handle, and then when it gets to about like halfway out, I grab a towel and I lift it onto the table. So I don't try to hold the weight by the handle itself, if you guys get what I'm saying, because I've actually held it by the handle, and then because the weight is too heavy, it actually separates from the base. Now again, it could just be because the one that I have is a little broken on the handle. I don't know how the you know, the perfectly new models work. I'm pretty damn sure it's not like this, but it is not a bad policy in my opinion to just be careful. You know, don't try to grab the whole thing just holding it by that little itty bitty handle, because there's like a little button that you press, right? So in case that little thing unlatches, it's not good. So yeah, so I pull it out about halfway with the handle and like around this position, and then I slide it out completely using a towel, and I don't mind it at all. I love it so much. So anyway, that is how I make my pork belly. I just wanted to give you a little description about it. Make sure that if you do it, again, have really fatty cut of pork belly. Get the fattiest cut of pork belly you can get. And then salt, pepper both sides. Get this, you know, the skin part, stab it as much times as you can. in about, let's say, 1 to 2 minutes. I'd say something like 40 to 50 or more. You know, stabs is good to do. I mean, it goes by really, really quickly, right? You don't expect to puncture it all the way down because, you know, forks are kind of dull. What you want to do is you kind of want to break up the skin so that way it gets a little bit more crispy, kind of like Chinese pork, you know, roast pork. Let me show you guys this. So I don't have 5-spice powder. I'm still doing the whole salt and pepper, but this is what I wanted to achieve with this. And I think it's not a bad thing. You see how the front the top is all crispy? Yeah, you're supposed to stab it with things. So that's how you get that little crispiness. If you do not stab it, it's going to be flat, hard, and kind of tough. So it's very, very important to stab the pork skin. Yeah, and I'm gonna leave you, and here's my little pieces. I cut this about 1 inch. Again, this is the fatty bits. You can tell, oh my goodness, I just realized I think I have a cat hair right there. This is what happens when you live with cats. Cat hair goes everywhere. Oh well. Anyway, so you can tell that the skin does look a little bit crispy, and it's really nice, and I know my camera might not be too good, but I'm going to let you hear how crispy it is. I cooked this about 2 hours ago, so you guys can hear it. Do you hear it? That's a 1-inch piece. So it's really, really crispy. And yeah, I love it so much. So this is it's only about 1 inch, it's only about 1/2 inch thick, and then it's about 1 inches long. But it's really nice. And here's another piece. If you do notice this one piece, I know I can't show you my stream, but if you look at, you see the top right one, you see how it looks like it kind of has an air bubble. So air got trapped underneath the skin. Do you see this? The top left hand piece. It looks like it has a. You see that little bubble? I know you guys can't see my screen, but look at the top left piece. Yeah, that one. So I'm gonna eat that right now. Okay. So it's really. So it has less crunch, in my opinion. So if you get the flatter ones, those are more crunchy. It's pretty nice though. So I've eaten a whole bunch of these today. Oh yeah. Wild salmon in the air fryer is so good. Salted salmon skin. Oh my god. I love that so much. So yeah, I'm just gonna snack on this stuff. So yeah, like I said, this is about 2 hours old, so this is not like I just made it. It's been sitting out. If you guys heard it when I first got cooked, oh my god, the crunches was divine. But I was on the phone, and while I was talking on the phone, I was like crunching away with this pork belly, and I was like, oh, I don't want. So I hope they didn't hear me, but they probably heard me. It was just like I was just sneaking in bites of pork belly. So yeah. So let's see over here. Yeah, see, I don't leave out baking, back to back. Yeah, I don't leave the grease in there for 3 to 4 cooks. I'll leave the grease in there for 2 cooks, because for me to go through 1 pound, based on the air fryer size, because I don't like overloading it, right? I try to keep it like, single layer, and then make sure I have like at least, 1/4 inch gaps in between each piece. You know, more airflow, better, right? So for a 1 inch portion, one inch portion, for a 1 pound portion, I'll usually do 2 cooks. So the first time it cooks, you know, I have the grease, and then the second time it cooks, like I'll have more grease. So I dump out the I dump out the pork fat after I'm done cooking for the day. I don't like keeping it inside of the air fryer, and I think that if I keep the uh, fat in there, I kind of worry that it's going to increase the chances of it smoking even more, right? Because you have more fat in there. So I don't like having too much smoke, because if it does have too much smoke, then like the visibility in the apartment kind of it definitely is affected. Um, So yeah, I cook. Yeah, so Sir Repetitious doesn't pour bacon grease in a peanut butter jar. You know what? I love cooking with bacon grease. Oh my goodness! If you make fried rice with bacon grease, like okay, look up what fried rice is. So it's basically like get like a spoonful of bacon grease, put it on the pan, get some old, like day old rice or like cauliflower rice, cook it in there, and then add some soy sauce, add some oyster sauce, add some bacon bits, onions, egg, maybe sausage in there. I don't usually add in sausage, but I'll add in, yeah, like that. Green onions. Yeah, that's really really tasty. So I definitely like cooking with bacon grease or pork fat. Like I said, I feel like it's healthier rather than getting that's freaking blended vegetable oil stuff. I try to stay away from blended vegetable oil, seriously. Um, but yeah, I love pork belly, but I really should not be eating this kind of pork belly. I should really be going for pasture raised stuff, and but it's just really it's so inconvenient for me to just make the trip out there just to get pasture raised pork and then bring it back home for what, 2 pounds. Yeah, so we'll see. We will see. Yeah, so I haven't been buying chicharrones, pork rinds, because I just eat pork belly instead. So I snack on it throughout the day. Sometimes I'll add in like a dipping sauce, like a gyoza dipping sauce. That's pretty good. You can also do a half vinegar, half soy sauce, half white vinegar, half white vinegar, half soy sauce mix, and see how if you like that taste. So I don't really mind it at all. And I like it a lot. So yeah, it is really nice. I have not made fried cauliflower rice, but I do make cauliflower rice, so I'm sure the fried cauliflower rice is not that different. But I haven't put it in the air fryer. I'm talking about making like fried rice on a stovetop, like on a cast iron skillet. So yeah, if you get fried rice or cauliflower rice, because if you want to go lower your carb rate, go with cauliflower rice. Cauliflower rice is cheap. Like if you buy it from, I know it sounds weird, but the cheapest place for me to buy cauliflower rice is at Whole Foods. Yeah, you can get like 12 ounces of it in the frozen section, I think for $2.59. Versus if you go to some stores in Brooklyn, holy shit, they want like $4 for like a bag. I'm like, whoa. So I don't want like for you guys know, like I do food delivery, right? I do use Amazon Fresh. It's not because we're too lazy to get groceries. We actually save money getting groceries that way than going to like neighborhood grocery stores. And there's a lot more selection too. So for instance, right, I go to one grocery store. They're out of Kerrygold. It's on the Kerrygold butter's on sale. Guess what? They're completely out of Kerrygold. This is not the first time that they're out of Kerrygold either. But people around the community, like they see Kerrygold butter on sale and then they buy it, and the store shelves are empty of it, and then I don't have any butter. So for me, I always try to make sure that we have a good amount of butter on hand. I think we have like 8 bricks of butter. Yeah, because I am a big fan of butter. Might be surprising to some people. Like I really like eating high fat butter foods, low carb. But it really does keep me a lot fuller, and I feel a lot more weirdly calmer and grounded eating this way versus eating processed foods. I did finish. You remember that high carb meal that I ate the other day? The beans one, the bean and the rice. Let me show you guys this one. Where are you? This one. So I had another one inside of the fridge, and then Lewis didn't like it, so I ate it. And oh my goodness, you guys, I had to take a nap in the afternoon because the freaking carb intake of this just kicked me out of keto again. So again, I ended up with a headache, and I took a nap on the afternoon. I woke up, I was like, oh, for frick's sake, there goes my life. So anyway, the carby stuff is gone. I'm happy with that, but yeah, I feel so much better going on high fat, moderate protein, low carb food rather than like carb, 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 carb. I'm not worried about animal fats clogging up my arteries. I'm more actually worried about processed food stuff. So I try to stay away from vegetable oils. I try to stay away from like refined sugar or moderate it definitely. There are people like on the like a high fat like keto diet, and they don't have any heart issues. That from what I see, some people are like 100% carnivore and they eat high fat. They eat protein, and all they eat is just like steak, 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 meat, 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 fat, 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 and they seem to look pretty damn healthy to me. No, they don't go nuts when I cook the pork belly. Yeah, so get the Kerrygold butter. I always get the gold one, the salted Kerrygold. If you guys love popcorn, I'm not gonna lie, get get some like cut some Kerrygold butter off, melt it on like a on the stove top, right? Get melted butter and put that on top of your plain popcorn. It is so freaking good. Like I will not use any butter except Kerrygold if I see it on the shelves. Like I've tried Finlandia, I didn't like Finlandia. I've tried like other brands of butter. I did not care for it as much as Kerrygold. So Kerrygold is one of those things like Kerrygold, the gold one because the gold one is salted. The silver one is unsalted. So I always go with the gold Kerrygold. Gold Kerrygold. That one just makes my day. Like I love Kerrygold butter so much, so much. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, the lunch crash. Yeah, I ate so much like I love like beans and rice. Like don't get me wrong, but I just like that freaking crash and that headache. It's just like I noticed this like okay, eat too much carbs, Erica, you end up feeling lethargic and then you end up having a headache and then you got to take a nap in the middle of the afternoon because of what you ate. So, I don't have that issue when I eat, what I normally eat, which is low carb. And yeah, so my diet is kind of repetitive. I haven't been making stew lately. Normally I do, but you guys can see I've been on a pork belly kick. Pork belly kick. I still have the cauliflower rice, but I'm not gonna lie, I've just been snacking on pork belly, and I am quite happy with my pork belly. So yeah, so yeah, it's yeah. So if anybody has like eats just like beans and rice, I'm gonna tell you this, like if you are taking a nap afterwards, just be mindful it might be because you are eating too many carbs. And please do not think that I don't want to say like please do not think it's normal for you to just feel so tired after eating a meal. It really sucks for me to feel so tired after eating all those carbs. So that's why I've changed my ways. And influencer, it looks like he's home right now, and I will talk to you guys later. So you guys take care. I know I didn't show you any images of me cooking pork belly, but I wanted to tell you it because there's really not much for me to tell you about it, right? You can watch back on my chat, and I clearly explain. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section. I will definitely answer them. And yeah, you guys take care. And for that person who had salmon skin in the air fryer, oh, that I dream of salmon skin. So yeah, I love salmon skin so 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 much.